So thanks for sticking with me. What you've got now is the last 3 weeks leading up to my attempt at London in 2 days' time. So you've got a last big week, you've got a week where it starts to ease off, and then you've got a week of taper madness where I'm climbing the walls, wondering if I'm doing enough. So week 10, so this is the last big week of training, kind of a 12-week block. This is where it really starts to peak. So I have about 10 days easy, it seems to, or 10 days easing off before the race. So this is really the last big one. I'll put the stats up on the screen as always, and you'll see miles 85, I think it was, for the week, pretty much. But in that, you've also got a weight session and you've got a turbo trainer. I've not really mentioned the turbo trainer throughout, but I've been trying to do about every week, maybe a little bit longer in between them, maybe for 10 days, just sort of 30-40 minutes on the turbo trainer, spinning my legs, watching a few videos, very much enjoying it, and just kind of turning the legs over, a bit of extra cardio. So that's in there. So if you add it up together, it's probably the equivalent of about, what, 95 miles for the week if you were to just run. But doing the other things, I think, probably gives me more benefit than just straight up running. So what was the week built around? A lot of easy miles you'll see as you go through it. So I've left the stats up for a bit longer than normal, and you'll see in there's kind of two main sessions. So another big Canova session was the main one, 13 miles. Didn't go brilliantly, so it was meant to be kind of 3k, 2k, 1k twice over. Did the first block, but then I was just kind of struggling, so reduced to a walk. And then the second block, it was having to walk in between them and not really, I've been a little bit off the pace, so I just kind of found that a bit tough. I felt good going into it, but I just couldn't quite stick it. Never mind, I did what I could, I had a go, and I've got the training effect, even if it wasn't quite as I wanted it, so never mind. And then, yeah, weight session the next day before going into long run, which was done Saturday, just because family reasons. With doing bits and pieces and the kids, I kind of had to fit it in when I fit it in. So longer run, sort of 17, 18 miles. And this is one also where it starts to get a bit more serious again. So we had 20 minutes at a bit above marathon pace, and then 5 by 3 minutes at just under marathon pace, meant to be jog recoveries. Again, just kind of, I think that fatigue from 10 weeks has really built up. I'm starting to feel it in my legs so much at the moment. As things start getting tough, it just hurts. So, yeah, I didn't quite manage all of that, but did I've got the stats, but 20 minutes was in about 5:50s. That was fine. And then the meant to be 5:20s, so kind of like deep under marathon pace for those 3-minute intervals. I think I just about managed it, but to do the pace on those, I had to take it easy on the sort of 2 minutes of recovery. Never mind. I got the miles in after that, sort of nice little jog around the park, relax, know that the sort of, what is it my friend Simon used to say, the hay's in the barn. So at this point, there's not a lot more I can do. I've kind of I can feel how beaten up I am. It's time to start easing back a little bit. And that is one solid sort of week 10 to make 10 solid weeks to add on to the solid months previously. This is kind of that culmination of all this fitness I've been building for 2.5 years, really, since I last did London, which is absolutely mad when you think about it, because yeah, it's April. Well, 2020 didn't happen. 2021 then pushed back another 6 months. Just it's been a really long time coming. So I'm quite ready to see what I've got on the day and attack London. Just to say, if you are getting something from these videos, please do hit like, subscribe. If you want something doing differently, please do tell me in the comments. There's nothing in this for me. I've not got a Patreon, I've not anything to sell, I've not got an OnlyFans. It's just doing these for a bit of fun. So it'd be interesting to see what people are looking for and hopefully add something of value. So going to week 11 now, and this is where things really start to, not at the beginning of the week, but certainly later in the week, ease up. So what you've got is a rest day on the Monday. Wow, one of those. They're quite unusual. Quite like those. Bit weird to be doing nothing, but hey, I'll take it. So starting to kind of get a bit back into the legs, try and make them perk up a little bit. Then into session on the Tuesday. So what was the session? I'll put the stats up, as with everything else, and 8 by 2 minutes, but then nice good recovery, so kind of 2-minute jog as well. So the 2 minutes are in kind of like 5:10, 5-minute miling. Wasn't to be too prescriptive, it was kind of fast, but at the same time you're not trying to add in too much work to beat yourself down. It's about running well. Fine, I quite enjoyed that. It's really quite nice. It's fun to run fast. It's nice to get the good recovery, and so you can run fast. Very different to sort of some of the marathon sessions where you're kind of stringing together these big blocks of work. So yeah, I enjoyed that one. It was really fun. And then through to the Thursday, kind of last strength training session. Don't get many of those, and I've run with a few strides in it. So starting to just, again, perk up the legs, nice and easy, nothing too hard. And then through to, I guess, last long run that you'll see. So before that though, I'd got the kids on the Saturday morning, got them up early, and I thought, well, it's time to start getting ready for the race. So what I did is I gave them my vaporfly, my 210-pound vaporfly 2s, and I dug out my wife's Sharpies and let them go nuts. So what you'll see, I'll put the videos or pictures up so you can see them. You've got a picture of Dennis and Nasha. You've got Dog Man, which is a kid's book. It's like a dog, but yeah, also a man. Who knew? You've got the whole family drawn by my daughter. You've got hearts. You've got all sorts of stuff on there. And yeah, I thought I'd let them have a bit of fun, just so they're involved in it too, and a bit of a reminder as to what I'm there for and what I've been giving up by doing all this training. So really trying to make it mean something and make sure that my own stamp's on that. So it's quite nice to have those. As I look down at the start line, I know what's gone into this. And then onto the Sunday, I did my last long run. So nothing too complicated. 12, 13 miles, I think it's about 13 and a half in the end. And from 8 to 10, it was aimed to be at marathon pace. So it wasn't easy because I wasn't in, I think I was in my Saucony speeds because they're very nice, but I wasn't in kind of full-on race gear, full-on race mode, full-on everything else, but just putting in. And it was actually net uphill, crossing a couple of roads, so I wasn't quite as quick as I wanted to be. I wanted to be 5:38s. I was at 5:43s. It doesn't sound like the end of the world, but it does gnaw on you a little bit that I didn't want that. I wanted to be a little bit quicker, but you always do. So I've just accepted it's net uphill. I did what I could. I did what I needed to. I went out. I did 2 hours of effort. My heart rate was pathetically low for it. It's kind of like 160, and that's marathon heart rate. Yeah, sure, that's marathon pace, but then I wasn't in my race kit and I wasn't all prepped for it, and I'm not fully tapered yet. So that's quite encouraging actually, that by the end of it I'm still just kind of doing marathon heart rate for about marathon pace, even if it's uphill. So I'll take that because I might need it at the weekend, well, at the event. So this is the final week now. So I'm in week 12, and I'm kind of doing this just before basically going to London, getting my stuff together. What you've got here is you've got the race bag that's kind of there. So like trying to work out the logistics for this system they've put in place this year with the bag drop, and it's a bit of a nightmare because you've got to drop your stuff off on the expo, so it's Saturday, and then you've got to get to the start line. So if you drop it off, you're not going to have it until the end. So you work out, well, what do I do? So I'm going to go down in my clothes, then I'm going to change in the line into some crappy clothes, which are going to be in here. So things that I'll take to the start line and discard. So I've got like an old pair of trainers because, well, you don't want to be walking through the tube system with your vaporfly on. So it's just an absolute horror show. So what's the plan? Yep, do that. And what's this week been? It's pretty weird. I've been really struggling this week to not run because that's what the plan says. So I had my only session. I put the stats up on Tuesday, and it was on Wednesday I did it, and it was just, day off on Monday, massage, easy jog Tuesday, Wednesday, won by a mile at marathon pace. Ended up a little bit kind of not quite where I wanted it, but that's fine. It was uphill, it was kind of twisty, and I think actually it probably was there. So that and then just 4 by a minute, nice and easy. Feels really weird. I kind of now started to go on to the beige diet, which is does work. So the last few days before the marathon, basically a low fibre diet. So what I'm doing, I'm eating lots of white bread, white pasta, white rice, no vegetables, just to try and reduce the amount of fibre that's in my gut, so any weight that it's carrying, and stock up on those carbs. So it gets pretty miserable after a few days, but for now it's still quite fun. And yeah, who doesn't like white bread and just stuff like that? So kind of in the bag as well. We've got things like Haribo just to keep snacking on, to keep topping off that fuel. I've got my gels in the bag, I've got my race kit, and that's it now. And all I'm doing is waiting for my lateral flow, so I'll get a little video of that just to show that I'm COVID free to go get into the expo, do my stuff, pick up my things, and let's see how it goes. So what is the plan? Yeah, it's going out there. The wind doesn't look great, the weather doesn't look perfect, but I can't do anything about that. It's one of those things. Dana Torres wrote a great book, Age is Just a Number, or Age is Nothing But a Number, and she talks about how the best swimmers, because she's a swimmer, don't do their best in training, because training doesn't matter. It's like Strava segments don't matter. What matters is race day, and race day is set a long way ahead of time. So you need to be there, you need to deliver on the day that you're supposed to deliver. for now. That's early October, it's like October, whatever, Sunday, 9:30, that's not going to be my best. Doesn't matter what you've done in your training, it's delivering on that day. So my plan, go out, try and stay in control till 30k, and then go ham for the last 12k, try and bring it home within that 2:30. Weather did me no favours, but then that's too bad, so sad. There's nothing I can do about that. All I can do, work with what's in my control and just try and get out and do the work. So here goes.